Hi, happy Monday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. So today our lesson's going to be just a little different than what it has been last week. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so agenda today is December Evaluate. And now you're going to be taking December Evaluate with Mrs. Bennett, and I'm going to be explaining this just a little more here on the next few slides. But before then, let's take a look at our learning target and our success criteria. So learning target, taking ownership of your success by completing the December Evaluate and doing any missing redo assignments. So that's what you're going to be working on today. So success criteria is you're going to finish up December Evaluate. So you're either going to start it and then finish it with Mrs. Bennett, or you're starting it with Mrs. Bennett and finishing it in nonfiction. But either way, you're going to be working on it with Mrs. Bennett today. You're going to track your progress by completing the Evaluate Data Tracking assignment, and then you're going to finish your body paragraphs because we're going to move forward with our argument tomorrow on Tuesday. So all missing and redo assignments are due by this Friday. Okay, so make sure you get those done. They will close Friday at 11:59, and I'm not going to reopen them. So you got to make sure that you get those done. All right. So just wanted to start out with that. So let's go on to, and I'm going to go ahead and take my picture out of here. So going on to evaluate. So for today's December evaluate, you are going to be taking it with Mrs. Bennett. So you're going to need to log into Mrs. Bennett's Google Meet class during your nonfiction time. That means if you're taking this first period, if you're watching this first period, you are going to instead of getting onto my Google Meet, you will get on to Mrs. Bennett's Google Meet. So that'll be Bennett Fiction 1, and that's first period. Okay. You will also, whenever you have Mrs. Bennett, you'll log on to her class too. So I know it's a little confusing, but just think whenever you are in nonfiction or supposed to be in nonfiction, go to Mrs. Bennett's class. All right. And you will just enter in Bennett Fiction and then whatever class period that you're in with nonfiction. So, for example, first period, if you have me for nonfiction, first period, then you are going to go to Bennett Fiction 1. If you have me for nonfiction, third period, then you are going to go to Bennett Fiction 3. And then if you have me fourth period for nonfiction, then you will go to Bennett Fiction 4. If you have me for fifth period, here's the only exception. You are still going to go to line ELA 5. All right. And that's because that's actually Mrs. Bennett's prep period, and she has graciously agreed to um, run my class. So run the nonfiction class during that time. So you will still use line ELA 5. That is the only class period that's going to be using the line ELA Google Meet code. Okay. Everyone else, you will use Bennett Fiction and then our nonfiction class period. Okay. So then sixth period, we'll go to Bennett Fiction 6, seventh period, Bennett Fiction 7. So essentially, you will have Mrs. Bennett twice today, once for fiction and then once for nonfiction, which makes 2 times. Okay. And again, the only exception with the codes is for fifth period because Mrs. Bennett does not have a fifth period class. Okay. So again, second bullet point here, you will see Mrs. Bennett twice today. All right. So just wanted to keep you aware of that. I also sent that out on a Parent Square Sunday evening. So you should have gotten that through your email, and your families should have gotten that as well. So there we go. Now for first, sixth, and seventh period, Mrs. Ford, Mrs. Bronson, and Mr. Bova will be in the line ELA classes. Just to remind you to go over to Mrs. Bennett. Okay. So if you do happen to go to our class and you see Mrs. Ford, Mrs. Bronson, or Mr. Bova, they'll just tell you to go to see or go log in to Mrs. Bennett's class. All right. So again, for nonfiction, you're going to log in to Mrs. Bennett's Google Meet. So you'll use those Meet codes, Bennett Fiction, and then whatever your nonfiction class period is. Okay. And again, the code is over there on your right-hand side. All right. Okay. So now we're to evaluate the same thing as it's always been. You're going to take December evaluate. You're going to do your best. You're going to read the questions first. You're going to read the questions first, then read the text, and then mark up the text, all that fun stuff. Okay. And then you're going to complete any missing or redo assignments, especially that argument body paragraph. Okay. The data tracking sheet, you'll just click on the link right here. You see my mouse going, it'll take you straight to the assignment in Canvas. And if you need help completing it and turning it in, you've got this there as well. I'm going to go ahead and click on that link to take you to uh, the evaluate here. So again, you'll click on the submit button here at the top, and then it'll take you to the assignment. Remember, you use the third tab on the Google Drive. If you don't have that data tracking or the progress tracking worksheet, you can click on that link and it will take you to the Google document. You'll have to make a copy of it, which is no problem. And it'll open up here for you to work through. All right. So let's go back into our modules here. All right. So there we go. I am back up here with you. I'll just move myself around. So again, we're in the module. You are currently down here in the page where you are watching the video. Okay, so we're in here. You've got our slides there. We're in that video. And then you can click next there and get to the assignment if you want to. All right. Remember, you can also click on the assignment here through that link. All right. So, final reminder here before I sign off for today. Remember, there's still time to bring your grade up. All right. All work is due this Friday. All right. And then we will move forward with the argument tomorrow with introduction and conclusion. So make sure that you are ready for that. As always, if you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to email me. I am checking email throughout the day. It may take me a little bit to get back with you, but I will. Okay. And I do want to thank everybody for all those kind of emails that I've been getting. It is a little difficult, but we'll get through it just like anything else here. So I do appreciate that and the thoughtfulness of you guys. So I will see you tomorrow with our next installment, our next video. And again, as always, please do not hesitate to email. It may take me a little bit to get back to you, but I will get to it as soon as I can. All right. Have a great Monday, and I will see you tomorrow. All right. Bye.